What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen. I'm here with my full UFC 292 predictions and why people are wrong about Sean O'Malley. But stay tuned for my main event predictions. I'm going to go through the whole card and I'm going to talk to you about this main event at the end, bro. Trust, I'm excited to talk about this card. I'm hyped for it. It's a little bit underwhelming, but at the same time, it should be fun fights, all right? Starting off, women's flyweight division, we got Karine Silva versus Marina Moroz, bro. I don't give a fuck, so I'm gonna pick Marina Moroz by decision. Underdog pick, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Oh, 2 women's flyweight. Okay, so I can have a sleep in then. That's good to know. What time does this start? 8:30. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a good sleep in, dude. That's gonna be dope. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep in nice and tight that morning, bro. God damn, I'm gonna sleep until about 10 a.m. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's going to be bedtime MMA for real. Women's flyweight bout, I'm going to pick Natalia Silva to win that fight by decision as well. Now we get into a good fight. We got Andre Petrovski taking on the GOAT. Bit of a jumping competition for Petrovski. He's taking on the GOAT of the sport, Gerald Mearshot. Should be a good matchup, but at the same time, I think kind of the upset ability of GM3 is starting to decline. I haven't seen him pull one of those off since Bruno Silva. And to get absolutely chinned by Joe Pyfer. Now, obviously that makes sense, but at the same time, I think Petrovski is like momentum carried right now. He's younger. He's in his prime. He's not necessarily a striker, but he does have the wrestling. So I think that's going to open up striking. And maybe this is a bad prediction, but I'm going to pick Andre Petrovski by KO. I think he's just going to randomly shoot a takedown, overhand right Gerald Mearshot and just drop him. And maybe he latches up a sub or maybe he just TKOs him. But I think we're going to see an evolved Andre Petrovski, and I think he's going to get it done round 1 or round 2. I think Gerald Mearshot is on the way out of the sport, unfortunately. As much as I love the GOAT, GM3, I think his time in the sun is almost over. He had his glorious run back in the day, but yeah, I think it's over for him. It's done. That's it, you know. You can go back to being Bilal Muhammad's pad holder. That's it, you know. But hey, man, I'm going to move on to the first of the tough finale fights. Really exciting stuff. I cannot wait to watch these 2 apex fucking fighters take each other on. We've got Austin Hubbard versus Kurt Holobaugh. I'm not very confident in these picks because Kurt Holobaugh, I think if it's a finish, it's going to be Kurt Holobaugh. But Austin Hubbard is probably more consistent. They're both pretty mid. This is definitely a big mid off right now. We're going to see who's the least mid out of these 2 absolute fucking, you know, like I said, apex prelim type fighters is what we got here. So I don't know, dude. I'm just going to throw a fucking random pick out there. I'm going to pick Kurt Holobaugh, bro. I don't know. I'm just going to pick Kurt Holobaugh. I don't know. I feel like he's just got this weird energy right now that he's going to fight well. Austin Hubbard is just very, like, unreliable. I don't know. It's so tricky. I might be wrong, but I'm just going to randomly pick Kurt Holobaugh. I don't give a fuck. We move on to the middleweight division. We've got Gregory Rodriguez, Obama. Let me be clear. Taking on Dennis Tolyulin. I think this is going to be a good fight, but I'm going to lean with the odds here. I'm going to pick Gregory Rodriguez by KO. I think that he's just going to catch Tolyulin quite early. And I think we're going to see a refreshed Gregory Rodriguez, a little bit more wrestling, I think, after getting chinned so bad by Bruno Ferreira. But at the same time, I think he's going to mix up his wrestling and then he's going to catch Dennis Tolyulin early. And I'm leaning a Gregory Rodriguez round 1 or round 2 knockout. So that's my pick. But it should be a good fight. This is an exciting matchup. I am very excited about this, okay? We move on to the headliner of the prelims already. Holy fuck. We've got Chris Weidman coming back from the leg break, you know. Titanium shin bone, fucking Chris Weidman is back in the building, baby. This is still my boy. And he's taking on Brad Tavares, okay. Very excited to see Weidman come back. I do like Chris Weidman, but I think this is a really bad matchup for him. Okay, I was saying on my stream today, I think Chris Weidman can come back and win fights. I think there's middleweights in the UFC that are genuinely so shit that Chris Weidman with one leg could probably beat them, right? I do think Chris Weidman will look decent when he starts out this fight. I know I made that video. Yes, I can kind of see him breaking his leg again, but I'm not gonna jinx that. I don't want that to happen. I want Chris Weidman to win, obviously. But with Brad Tavares, the thing about Tavares is he's just good enough. Oh, fuck. Best editor on YouTube. Tavares, he's just good enough to where he can stay kind of right at the number 15 spot. I'm at number 15, Brad Tavares. He can stay at the number 15 spot, right? So he's clearly like a goated like gatekeeper of this division. He's mid. He's like okay at everything, right? He trains with Sean Strickland and all those guys. He's good at everything. He's not great at anything except for one thing, and that is his takedown defense. Brad Tavares, I believe Brad Tavares, if there's stats here, his takedown defense is fucking insane. I believe his takedown defense is like 80%, dude. It's literally the only thing he's good at. Like everything else, he's like the most average, like mid-level fighter. His takedown defense is like the highest percentile at fucking middleweight. I believe he's number 1 or number 2 at middleweight all time on takedown defense. Like genuinely, I think he's up there. So Brad Tavares is going to win this fight by decision. I can see Chris Weidman getting him down at some point, but I don't think he's going to be able to hold him down. I don't think he's got the offensive jiu-jitsu to submit Tavares the second he gets him down, right? I don't see him dropping Tavares either. I feel like the only way to beat Tavares is you just have to be better than him at striking, right? Or you have to have crazy KO power. That's the only ways you're going to beat, or you're like a submission artist, right? But if you're a wrestler that's going to win based off control time and ground and pound, it's going to be really hard to do against a guy whose only excelling quality is his takedown defense. So I'm going to go with Brad Tavares to win this fight by decision. I can also see a world where Chris Weidman spams takedowns to get something going and gasses out and just gets pieced up and TKO'd in round 2 or 3. But I'm going to trust in him. I think he's ready for a good fight. I've seen him training in the Wonder Boy videos. I'm going to pick Brad Tavares by 30-27 decision. So my pick for the prelims, Brad Tavares, Rodriguez, Holloway, not confident at all. Petrovski, Silva, Munoz, not confident at all, okay? Those might be the ones that fuck me up. All right, we move on to Marlon Vera versus Pedro Munoz, okay? I fucking cannot stand Chito Vera, dude. I cannot stand this guy and his fucking fans because Chito Vera, the fact that this guy not only has Dana White privilege and nobody acknowledges it, which is almost worse than just having outright Dana White privilege, this guy is the biggest KO merchant of all time. This guy, on the way up, has got to fight Davy Grant, Frankie Edgar, Dominic Cruz, right? And he's losing to all fucking 3 of them, and he just has this crazy one-shot power. He's losing to Rob Font, has crazy one-shot power, lands like 3 good shots every round. He's like the only guy I've seen get completely outstruck, but because he has more power, he wins. This guy is such a fucking KO merchant, and at bantamweight too. He's a huge bantamweight. I don't want to say weight bully, but you look at the way he fights and the frame of him versus the guy he's fighting, it's like, bro, you could easily be a featherweight, but you know that you have no power advantage at featherweight, and you'd get absolutely murked. Just like you got murked by Corey Sandhagen, who is clearly just levels above this fucking guy, right? With that being said, I'm picking him by KO. No, I almost want to pick Chito Vera by fluke KO, but I feel like you're banking on a 1 in a million type shot almost when you pick Chito Vera, because you're not banking on him to be better than the other guy. You're betting on the other guy to make some random mistake or Chito to find the most perfect shot ever, which is possible, right? It's a big possibility. I think that's why he's the favorite. It also is the name value that he has and the short notice of it all. But at the same time, Pedro Munoz is always in shape. He's a wrestler. You know, he's a grappler. He's got decent power himself. I've never seen him really get dropped or wobbled. And I think the worst part of this for Chito is that Pedro Munoz is not a washed up, tiny bantamweight with no chin who is on the decline. He's actually a prime fighter that is trying to contend for a title. So with that being said, I'm going to pick Pedro Munoz by decision. But if Marlon Vera finds the fluke KO that he always finds every couple of fights, good for him. I can't wait to see you lose to O'Malley, bro. Congrats, dude. And yeah, I'm going to pick Munoz by decision, all right? We move on to the bantamweight division again. We got a bantamweight fucking triple header on this bitch. We got Damon Blackshear turning around on 7 days' notice. Terrence McKinney wishes he was this guy. Terrence McKinney wishes he was this dude. This is an alpha male of the highest order. And yes, he's at victim weight. I don't even care. Versus Mario Batista. Very exciting prospect. I was interested to see him versus Cody Garbrandt. I'm not going to lie to you. I was going to pick Cody Garbrandt. I don't care. I was going to pick Cody Garbrandt. I had a weird feeling Cody was going to put on a great performance. But now that it's Damon Blackshear, I'm very happy that this guy turned around on short notice. I would love to see him win. But I'm going to ride with the odds here. I'm going to pick Batista by TKO, round 1 or round 2. I think he's just too explosive. He's too dynamic. He's been prepping for the biggest fight of his career. And I feel like he's just going to be, he's one of those prospects that I trust to not fuck this up. Like, there's prospects that if you switch out a short notice guy on them, I'm like, okay, he might crumble in this moment. He might go, oh, he might fuck this up, basically. He might fumble this. I don't see Batista doing that. I think Batista is going to get a TKO in round 1 or round 2. I really think he's just going to catch Damon Blackshear. He's going to be just too sharp, too prepared, not having to do 2 weight cuts in a week. I just think it's just really bad circumstances for Blackshear, but I would love to see him win. I just don't think it's going to happen. So my pick is Batista by TKO. We move on to the featured bout. We've got Neil Magny, the GOAT of welterweight, versus Ian Machado Gary. Very sad that this wasn't Jeff Neal, because I wanted to kind of stake my claim as a predictor. I'm the best predictor on YouTube, if you didn't know, and the best editor. I wanted to kind of stake my claim by picking Ian Gary. I was going to pick Ian Gary over Jeff Neal by KO. I really believed he was going to fuck up Jeff Neal. I really think he was going to fuck up Jeff Neal. So I really believe he's going to fuck up Neil Magny now, because I don't know. I had this feeling that he was just going to absolutely outclass Jeff Neal, dude. I feel like he's put in a crazy good camp for this. Seeing him sparring with Chris Curtis gives me a lot of confidence. He's training at a great team. He's got momentum. His confidence is sky high as well. He's settled into the UFC. If this was his second or third fight in the UFC, I would be very worried about this, right? And I said something in my video about it. I think that was kind of just more of a meme. Genuinely, though, at this point in his career, I think Ian Gary smokes fucking Neil Magny, dude. I think Ian Gary is going to TKO. Fuck off. Don't open this. All right? Fuck me, man. Fucking hate this site. It's only worth 4.2 billion. I can't even click on the screen without opening some bullshit, dude. Right? There's sites that I'm cool with that on, but they're not on this side of the web. All right, dude? Listen, though. Ian Gary, back on topic. Ian Gary smokes Neil Magny. That's my pick. I think Ian Gary's going to pick him apart with leg kicks. He's too big to get fucking manhandled or held against the fence. I think he's going to chew him up with calf kicks. And I think he's either just going to lean out of the way of a jab from Neil Magny and just overhand right him over the shoulder and just drop him for a TKO. Or I can see another head kick off the lead leg as Magny backs out of an exchange. I can see him going cross. Magny leans out of the way, and Gary just whips up the left high kick and knocks him out. I can see that happening. I'm also vividly kind of picturing a random knee or elbow in close against the fence and just dropping Magny randomly. I can see Magny holding him against the fence. The crowd gets kind of restless, and then Ian Gary just elbows him upside the temple and just drops him and TKOs him, or just knees him in the head and TKOs him. So I'm very confident in Ian Gary. I'm going to pick Ian Gary by round 1 TKO. Should be a big reaction from the crowd. Hopefully he gets a good promo at the end. Yeah, I'm very excited to see Ian Gary move on. I want to see him fight Jeff Neal after this. I want to see that fight, dude. Maybe on December. All right, we move on to the co-main event. We've got Weili Zhang versus Amanda Lemos. Okay, I don't know. This feels like one of those picks that you overthink, right? That's kind of where I'm at with this, because obviously, leading up to a pay-per-view and you're making prediction videos, you kind of worry. You're like, I don't want to miss something. I don't want to be on the wrong side of a crazy upset that, every time there's an upset, there's fucking MMA fans that are like, oh, bro, how didn't you fucking see this happening? Like, shut the fuck up. But that is a real possibility. It's entirely possible. So I had to think long and hard about this one. But at the end of the day, Weili Zhang is just better than Amanda Lemos, dude. Like, even if she loses, she's still better than Amanda Lemos. I feel like most people would agree with me on that. And she's too skilled, but she's also equal in physicality. And I feel like the main thing that Amanda Lemos has is she's very physical. She's big, she's strong, she manhandles these girls that she goes against. She just goes after them and tries to finish them. And a lot of women's strawweight fighters, they aren't used to that. They're used to fucking point fighting with each other and sparring basically for money, which is just bullshit. But Amanda Lemos comes for the finish. But the thing is, Zhang Weili is a scrapper, dude. She's got power, she's big as fuck. She can wrestle hard, and I feel like the main skill that Lemos has is her power and her BJJ, And Zhang Weili is just as physical, if not more physical, and way technically better. So I'm going to pick Zhang Weili by like submission in round 2. I feel like they'll have kind of a feeling out round. Maybe a Lemos will do well. But Zhang Weili, I feel like she's going to find a finish. 25 minutes is way too long. I feel like Amanda Lemos' best chance is round 1. But I think once it leaves round 1, Amanda Lemos is just prolonging the inevitable, and I think Zhang Weili is going to get the finish round 2 or maybe round 3 by submission. I think it'll be a bit boring until the finish, but yeah, I'm picking Zhang Weili by submission, maybe a TKO, but I'm going to go sub. All right, now we get to the main event of the evening. We've got Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. I'm fucking hyped for this shit, dude. I'm more hyped for this than I was for the BMF belt, bro. I keep going back and forth on this, okay, guys? I keep going back and forth on this. My initial pick, Aljo manhandles him. Then I kind of flipped and I was almost going to pick Sugar. But my final pick, and I do have this weird feeling about O'Malley. I was watching a Volkanovski video. It was a really good video. He was saying some people, it just feels like life's on their side, you know, and it feels like the story is just happening. And Sean O'Malley is like that. Like Sean O'Malley, it feels like doesn't matter what he does, he always finds a way to where he wants to go. Like he lost to Cheeto, still got ranked, right? Like, and I know Dana White's pushing him. That's good. That's a factor too. But at the end of the day, I think Aljamain Sterling is better. I'm gonna pick Aljamain Sterling by decision. I don't think he's gonna finish Sean O'Malley. I don't know. I think he could, obviously, right? A lot of people are picking Aljo by finish. I have this weird feeling that this fight is going to be really close. I'm picking Aljo by decision. Okay, I think this is going to be that classic striker and versus grappler situation, like Volkanovski versus Islam. I'm sure there's other examples that I'm not thinking of right now, but you know what I'm talking about, where they finish the fight and they both go, bro, his grappling like really surprised me. I didn't think he'd be so good in the grappling. And then the striker's like, bro, I didn't realize he'd be so good in the striking. I feel like that's what's going to happen. I feel like they're going to finish this fight. They're going to be boys again. Aljo's going to say, bro, O'Malley was strong in the grappling, dude. Like O'Malley will weirdly do better than like fucking half the guys that Aljo's fought, I feel like. And O'Malley, I feel like, is going to be surprised by Aljo's striking. I think Aljo's going to use head kicks. I think he's going to use his hooks, his elbows. He actually has pretty nasty elbows in close. I think Aljo will do better on the feet than people think, and Sean O'Malley will do better on the mat than people think. So I can see O'Malley sitting Aljo down pretty badly at least one time. Like I can see him just feinting an uppercut. Aljo kind of leans out the way, and then O'Malley just bombs him with an overhand right and sits him down bad, and looks for the finish. But I think he's just going to get taken down and held down too much. If Peter Yan can bully you physically, not even just time you with takedowns, but just grab a hold of you, put you against the fence and take you down, Aljo's going to take him down. I think O'Malley has been drilling with very good guys, to not get submitted and probably to avoid as much damage as possible on the ground. That's what I'm assuming his entire camp has been, is like getting taken down, getting back up without giving up your back, without getting ground and pounded to death. So I think O'Malley's going to come really prepared for what Aljo's bringing. I think the striking is going to surprise him and set up takedowns for Aljo. So again, I feel like these guys are going to surprise each other in the fight. I do see O'Malley sitting down Aljo pretty badly at one point, but then I think he might empty the tank and look for a finish and kind of slow down as the fight goes on. And I'm going to pick Aljo by 49-46, maybe 48-47 decision. Could be a split if the judges are feeling like robbing Aljo, but I don't think Aljo's losing this fight if it goes to the scorecards either. So I'm going to pick Aljo by decision. Again, 49-46, maybe a 48-47 thrown in there. That's my picks. Let me know your picks down below, boys. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. Are you excited for this card? I want to hear everything in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more predictions, more matchmaking. I'm the best matchmaker on YouTube. And yeah, go follow me on Instagram at Bedtime MMA. Because I'm training with Aljo and I tapped him out. So I'm going to put that video up on my story on at Bedtime MMA. All right, boys. See you in the next video. Goodbye.